Good evening, America and the world. Listen, this is my first vlog on my personal channel. This is Ray Gibson, and a little bit of history or logistic about what's going on right now. I promoted this video, I promoted my channel on Facebook, who has taken it upon themselves to keep blocking me from groups. So I had some amazing friends share the announcement of this channel to their pages, various groups on Facebook, while I could not. And I just, God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that for me. I also promoted it on Google Plus and Twitter. And I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude about y'all doing that for me. So it's been a very long time since I dressed up. I used to do it all the time. Well, yeah, for quite some time. I think in 2016, going into 2017, that I would dress this way to, I don't know, make myself feel good, to also not look like I got, the only wardrobe that I have is t-shirts and sweatshirts. So, anyway, this channel is, let me tell you a little bit about why I created it. And I had some conversations with people involved in the media, and it was very clear to me, they made it pretty clear, not exactly these words, so I'm just putting my spin on it, that my father was everything. Bob Gibson was everything to the sports world. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher. You know, he's got lots of backing in the media, and I'm just a nobody as far as they're concerned. Little do they know how involved I am in being an international mentor, trying to start a business for trans males. It's called TMBLM, but it's not part of the BLM movement in the United States. It's a completely different thing, and the members of my group know that. I am a pro-black man, which does not, I repeat, does not mean I am anti-white. I have lots of friends in the, well, I would say Facebook friends in the white community, and people that I follow, people that I admire, and things of that nature. So, my other channel, there are times when I just completely lose my train of thought, just like I did. I am 60 years old. My brain does not work and function the way it did when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s. So occasionally I lose it. At any rate, so I made this channel to market myself in hopes of picking up some media outlets out there that can make me not a nobody. To me, I am somebody. I'm just not a celebrity. And publicists and agents and media people, you know, seem to only want to deal with you when you're already a celebrity. I have called myself in the past the Black Chaz Bono. But most people know that Chaz Bono was already in the entertainment industry. He was somewhat of a celebrity, although not extremely famous with what he did with music and stuff like that. But his mother was Cher. So they picked him up based on the fact that he was already in the industry. And I'm going to say this, it's going to sound a little odd, but listen, it's reality. It's reality in America. That man, not only is he insulated by Hollywood, he's also insulated because he is white. And so I've got a special challenge to get to people about the publishing of His Glory, My Ghetto, My Glory, which is a story of my life, at the risk of promoting my father's books. I will not tell you where that name came from, but I got his permission to use that that title of my book, and I created that title, wow, I think a couple decades ago. I think it was a long time ago, and I searched around for a lot of titles of my book, and that one just popped in my head and has been in my head ever since. I also tried to write another book called 7 Years, and it was about the downfall of my career, that I went into a very clinical depression for 14 years. And that also will be part of my book. Right now, here's another reason why I'm making this. See, I wanted to put out half of my book. But in that half, which is from 1957 to 1989, I was living my life as a lesbian. And if I put that book out as is, and I do find media people wanting to talk with me, and I show up this way, they will feel duped, they will feel confused, they will say, wait a minute, we thought you were a lesbian. You were a lesbian in this part of, in your book, in the book that they see. And so I wanted to start letting people know that I am a transgender man who is the son of a celebrity, and that my book is filled with things about my life, with little tidbits here and there about my father. Of course, because to me, he's my dad. And I call him Daddy to this day, from the time I was young until now. He is still alive. He's 82 years old. And that's just how I refer to him. And so my story is going to be from the standpoint of not a fan, but as his son. And I said that there were some challenges that I'm facing with regards to my family. And, you know, it took me 58 years to realize what I knew when I was a child. And that was that I am a boy. As a child, I knew I was a boy. I thought I was a boy until puberty showed me differently. And then I did not come to, I didn't even know transgender people existed. I mean, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and I had no idea transgender people existed, let alone trans men. I used to see shows on the Jerry Springer show of, they were trans women, but I thought they were drag queens or transvestites or cross-dressers. That's what I thought they were. I had no idea that they were trans women, and they never showed trans men on that show until recent years. But I'm talking about back when I had no idea they existed. So I was living in San Antonio, Texas at the time, and I was watching Dancing with the Stars. And who should pop up on the TV? Chaz Bono. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And I don't want to say his birth name because we as transgender people do not like to use our birth names. I may have to use my birth name for the title of this book because people will not know. All the people that knew me as a different name. They knew me as my birth name. So I may have to use that in my book, even though I don't want to. I might only use it in the title and maybe even throughout portions of my book. The first years of my life and until the end of the book one, I have to, sometimes I talk about myself in third person. I say my name, but I avoided using pronouns in that portion, that portion of my book, book one. And so I'm going to have to let people know that I am transgender before I publish book one, so that they know what they're getting into. I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to create the entire book and then let people know that in 2012 is when I came to the understanding that, ooh, I might be transgender and a trans man. And on my other channel are lots and lots of videos talking about this, so I won't repeat it here, but I'm looking for a publicist or a literary agent to walk me through publishing book one. And in the meanwhile, I'm putting myself out there as a transgender man, Ray Gibson, to perhaps get written about by more than just the transgender community. I've done interviews, I've done blog radio shows where the focus was just on me, not where I was talking in a group with other people, but that the whole thing was about me. I also spoke at the Thea conference in 2016. I was very green. I didn't know much of anything except that I was loving the skin that I'm in. And from that, I began to mentor men and women around the world. And I'm very humbled by that, and the fact that people let me into their hearts, they let me into their lives, they tell me things, and I keep them all separate and confidential from each other. I'm not doing it to be dramatic, gossip, all that kind of thing. But I do want people to gossip about me. I don't care. That's the whole point of this channel. That's the whole point of starting something like this and putting feelers out there all over the place before I publish my book. And a literary agent and publicist might give me a advance to finish the book so that I can go to some of the places that I've lived, talk to some people that I've known that I haven't seen in years, just getting information to finalize my book and edit the book. It needs editing. I write the way that I speak. I don't know if that's good enough for a book. I haven't read any autobiographies lately. I did read a lot of them when I began to write my book, but my book got stolen from a computer in 2002. The whole computer got stolen, and so did a lot of things in that motel room. So I had to start over from scratch. And in 2016, how old was I? I was 58. So I lost 58 years. I'm sorry, I started over at 58 years. The book was stolen in 2002, so I was, oh well, do the math of how old I was in 2002 when that book got stolen. But I lost all of that, except for that book no, I lost it. And then I started another book that I could not get through one chapter of that book without breaking down. Because I was still in the middle of the storm, and it was still too emotional for me because I hadn't come out the other side. And I just couldn't finish that book. So I do have that one on my computer, along with the entire autobiography, and I just stuck that book inside of His Glory, talking about my dad, talking about my experiences of living inside of His Glory. And then my Ghetto, where I was just running around trying to find myself, building a career. I am a retired software consultant, but I didn't start out in software. I started out in hardware in the United States Air Force. So, but that springboarded me into my career in computers and in Silicon Valley. The military sent me there, and it's really funny how I got there. My recruiter gave me a choice of where I wanted to go. And I told him I wanted to go to California, because that's where the computer thing was happening, and that was my MOI. That was my job in the military. I was a data processing specialist. So they sent me there where I wanted to go, and I'm going to say in my book why. I might have even told, I don't know if I said this in one of my vlogs on my other channel, but it has something to do with my dad, put it that way. So this is my debut. I did not want to make the kind of videos I make on my other channel, which tend to be very, very long and probably lose some people along the line, even though I've been told that I'm very engaging and that a lot of people do watch my videos all the way to the end, even if they're 30 minutes, an hour, 50 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. I make long videos because I don't make them very often. But I'm going to cut this one short. I just wanted to introduce myself. I don't know if I left anything out. Frequently after I make these vlogs, you know, after I upload them to YouTube, I look and go, I forgot to say this, or I forgot to say that. Oh, one important thing, when you're using cell phones and you're looking at my videos, you don't necessarily see the description that I put for the video. There's a title, and then there's a description, and a lot of people don't look at that description, but it's there. I think you'd see it. I think you'd see it if you actually got to the point of clicking that bell after subscribing. You might even see it. Well, see, I don't use a cell phone for YouTube. I just use this phone to make videos, to upload them, and then I do all of the editing and everything else on my computer. So I don't really know how it looks. I should probably check that out just to see what it is y'all are seeing. But I've said things in my description that people did not see. So they must be just seeing the video itself and they don't see the description. I put links to other things in that description. Yeah, so if you could read the descriptions that I place there, that would be nice. But I hope it's Friday. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. One of these days, I'm going to get the correct equipment in here, lighting, whatnot, so that this side of my face isn't always dark. Yeah, because all that stuff costs money. And that was another thing about these publicists and agents and things of that nature is, you know, one of the first things they ask me is, you got any money? Nah, I don't. I'm retired. I live on a fixed income. I'm disabled. I'm a disabled veteran, and I'm disabled, period. I live on a fixed income. So I don't have any money, any room to do anything unique. And but publishing of my book and getting a business off the ground that I'm going to find out about in June may change that, and then I'll be able to get, you know, equipment for more videos to make them look better, basically. Probably a different camera than a cell phone, and a mic that I can hook up to it. You know, I looked at all this stuff, but I can't buy any of it. Anyway, everybody have a blessed weekend, and Ray Gibson will make other videos for this promoting of my book. Thank you very much for watching.